Everybody doing tonight? I am at my new cowboy job. I'm at the new bunkhouse. So this is going to be a test to see if I'll be able to do live streams from the house, or if I'm going to have to go out to the pasture to a high hill somewhere and do them. Anyway, so if I'm buffering, I need people to tell me about it. But anyway, tonight we're going to discuss what's going to happen to Trump if he don't do nothing about the criminals in this country that they promised they were going to do something about. That's what we're going to talk about tonight. But anyway, this out here, I tell you what, being out here and then watching YouTube to see the craziness that's going on in the world, I'm in one place where it just don't jive. We don't have such issues out here. Everybody's so busy working and going on with their lives, they don't care about what other people are doing. Plus, the scenery is really nice. So I'll be putting out more videos of what this place is like, the wildlife and stuff. But yes, I'm back on a ranch, so out in the sand hills. But anyway, it's great to be out here. The stress level is next to nothing. And you're always so busy where it don't matter. But I appreciate everybody being here tonight. But I need to get on subject. First, I want to do a little YouTube-y stuff. If you're watching, I had to cut down on my content for about 36 hours so the YouTube algorithm could reset itself and allow some of my content to be seen. So, when you piss off a computer, you can piss off anybody. But anyway, I'd appreciate people to like and subscribe. If you like the content, hit that thumbs up button and share the videos, especially my shorts. I find some of them very interesting. I know some people may get offended by my shorts, but the truth is the truth. And we need to stop being offended by the truth. But anyway, let's talk about the subject tonight. How is Trump going to pay if it would due to his inactions? So, if you don't get rid of these criminals, okay, the first thing, the inaction that he's taken, he's not doing nothing against are his enemies. The people that went through his wife's shorts and stuff like that, his wife's drawers and stuff like that. But if he don't do something about this, his inaction is going to enable them to do all sorts of actions, okay? And I made a short just a little bit ago where I do believe that if Trump don't do something about these criminals and these people hurting our children, the Senate and the Congress is going to get taken over by the Democrats in 2 years, and he's going to get impeached, and he'll probably end up in Guantanamo Bay, Cuba, in a nice little cell if he don't do nothing about the criminals that are after him. I'm not saying they're going to kill him. I'm saying they want him to rot in jail. So, and he's been promising us, this Epstein list, nothing's happening to it. Illegal immigration, still more people coming in that are leaving. They say, well, we're getting rid of the hardened criminals. You came over our borders illegally, you're a criminal, okay? Hardened criminals. So that means only hardened criminals got to go to jail in our country? But anyway, if Trump don't do anything about this, if he just lets this go, the thing is, if Congress don't do nothing and Trump don't do nothing, Trump supporters aren't going to go vote for the Democrats. But, hey, how's it going? We're not going to go vote for the Democrats, but we're sure not going to vote for people that aren't doing anything. Their inaction is going to leave us at home, and the Democrats are going to come out in force, and they're going to take the House and Senate, and you can say goodbye to Trump real quick. Like I say, I think he'll end up in Guantanamo Bay. And the American people, you know, Trump, he sat there and said, they're after us. Okay, but they got to go through you. Well, you're the big man on the hill now. Are you going to do anything to protect us? Are you going to put hardened criminals in jail that are trying to destroy our country? There's Epstein and P. Diddy list. Do we need to say more? Are you going to do anything? Or you think in this country, do you think the average man, unlike you in D.C., are concerned about Ukraine? We just want our money to stop going there. Israel, Hamas, stop sending our money. The Houthis, Iran, do you think we care about any of that? We care about what's going on here, our lives and stuff. And we're supposed to care about people's lives in other countries because they're so screwed up. But don't worry, we're all living in bliss and harmony here, right? But anyway, he's not going to do nothing. They're still not going to do nothing. But don't worry, you better wear your seatbelt, okay? But if you're rich and powerful, you can do what the hell ever you want. Anyway, so Trump's cooking his own goose. Flat out cooking his own goose. You know, he's going to be the biggest victim of his inaction. Flat out. That's just the way it's going to be. And if he can't see this coming, whatever. I wish we could all get along. Okay? Don't you? Remember the days when all we had to worry about was Monica Lewinsky? That was the big news of the day. Those days have done gone. Bye-bye. Not only do we have to worry about civil war in this country, illegal immigration, which is an invasion, trying to get us into wars in multiple countries. Our children being preyed upon. 350,000 children in the protection of child protection services and stuff like that went missing during Biden's term. 350,000. Let's see, break it down. Well, we'll say 360,000 just in case they did. So that's 90,000 a year. Into 12 months, what's that? About 7,800 children a month were disappearing under the Biden administration. 7,800 a month. Crickets, nothing. And the criminals that are abusing these children, I still don't know if they're in county protective custody and foster home and stuff. How do they just disappear? They just walk away? But don't worry, Trump, you can't see nothing there. But you want to parade a few MS-13 members. I heard that one guy's coming back, Democrats. Hey, we don't have enough criminals in this country. Let's go to other countries and pick them up. We can't even get rid of the criminals anymore. But they want to sit there and throw me in jail because I may disagree with a cop or I didn't wear my seatbelt. This is the world we live in. Don't go down that road. It's not meant for you. But illegal can. Anyway, like I said, I talked to my local sheriff and he said that if the interstate goes through there and even if they stop a carloads of illegals and nobody has a driver's license, it doesn't matter. They got to let them go. Let's see, what happens to me if I get caught driving without a driver's license and without insurance, without registration on a car? Oh, I don't know. I'll tell you one thing, the car doesn't go anywhere. And I'm going to go back, either be walking or I'm going to go to the cop shop. But don't worry, if you're an illegal, there you're breaking another rule. But don't worry, they can't do nothing. It's still going on. We've all been lied to. Okay? I can say, Trump, you don't want to do nothing about this? You want the people that went through your wife's panty drawer? You want the people that put a bullet through your ear? And then you say, yeah, to get to you, they got to get rid of me first. Well, you're getting rid of yourself because you're afraid of what people think about you. You know, it's time to get some gonads and do your job. You're in a job where half the world's going to hate you at any one day. Get over it and do your damn job. Protect Americans from criminals. Nope. Can't even protect our borders. Why would we want to protect Americans? I'm just getting sick of it. When Trump ends up in Guantanamo Bay in 3 years after he gets impeached, after the next midterm elections, I mean, I know it's a dreary thought, but what do? If you don't fix the problem, you're part of the problem. All these promises to nothing. Sorry, I've been watching the chat. Anyway, but like and subscribe if you would, please, if you like the content. Check out my shorts on my channel. I think you might enjoy them, and share them. This channel will never ask for money. Just, I want to get the word out. I got a job. I don't need money. But this is the thing with Trump. Maybe he's suffering from PTSD. Or I don't know. It's like, where are the men at? Where are the Ronald Reagans at? And, you know, this is the best that both parties have to offer. Kamala Harris and Donald Trump. That's the best. You wonder why our country's so fucked up? Because that's the best we got to choose from. What better, the lesser of the two evils? Are you going to vote for Satan or Satan's son? Which one's the lesser of two evils? That's the choices we got now. When is, the common person, I just don't know how Donald Trump's supposed to identify with me when I'll never make as much money in my life that he's made in 1 hour. Okay, he sits there in Mar-a-Lago. How's he going to identify with me? If I would be considered a vagrant if I went outside his Mar-a-Lago estate. I'd get arrested for being a vagrant. Somebody support, well, I'm getting to the point where I support the reinstatement of the Constitution. And when George Washington comes around again, that's who I'm supporting. But this picking the lesser of two evils is getting ridiculous. Like I say, the Democrats, how long did it take them to round up the January 6th protesters after Biden took office? Probably about 100 days. It's been 100 days, Trump. No walk of shame yet. But don't worry, you better wear your seatbelt. You better obey every goddamn law because you're paying so people don't have to obey the law. How long do you think this is going to last? How long do you think it's before the American people, other countries, England, Germany, a lot of these countries would be at civil war right now if they had the Second Amendment. The Second Amendment, restricting the Second Amendment doesn't protect the citizen. It protects the government. Why do you think the government is restricting the Second Amendment? People are so stupid. Constitutional republics handcuff the government. Democracies handcuff, restricts the people. But they don't teach that no more. I mean, it's great on a democracy as long as you're all you're on the winning side, but you're not always going to be on the winning side. Just like the Democrats wanted their democracy, well, Trump got into office. So they say they ain't got their democracy. But see, then we got this Republican democracy in this country too. We're not a democracy, we're a constitutional republic. I'm so sick and tired of hearing politicians say democracy, and Trump says it too. We're a democracy. No, we're a constitutional republic with democratic principles. Okay? But don't worry, we'll go support Ukraine. Remember, elections are part of democratic procedure. But don't worry, Ukraine, he canceled them. Don't worry, that was probably a year ago now. But we'll keep supporting him. It's no problem. We'll keep sending our money to a dictator. You cancel elections and don't leave office, you're a dictator. Okay? Maybe if Zelensky would have got out of office, the people would have voted to end this shit. And then we wouldn't be at war no more. But no, Europe can't have that. The world couldn't have peace. I mean, imagine all the money, every country, Western country, military budget went up. And then these communists want to talk about social services? Anyway, there's a world of hurt coming down. So I'm glad I'm back out here. If everybody could feel the freedom and the peace we do out here and how we all get along, okay? There's a big Indian population from where we're at, and we all get along. This is one thing I don't understand. All these problems that they're saying black and whites have with each other, I don't see that. We all get along. What, in cities, these people don't know how to get along? Or they're just hot, they want to fight, don't have nothing in common? Oh, my politician said I'm supposed to hate my neighbor. But anyway, I'm going to get off of here. But the point is, Trump, if you don't do anything about these people, you're going to pay dearly for it. You're going to have a nice little cell in Guantanamo Bay, and they're going to make sure you never get out of it. Okay? Kind of like put you on a little island like Napoleon, huh? Now, I'm not saying Trump's Napoleon, but I'm just saying, you know, they'll do it. Because remember, just if you microaggression them, they got a right to stab you in the chest, okay? He's really pissed them off. And one thing I saw on YouTube today, do you think Trump's the best troll ever? He's supposed to be the goddamn president, not a troll. And if he's going to make trolly statements, he's making it personal against these people. He's president of all people, the uniter. All we ever hear is presidents, how they're going to unite. And then all they do is make decisive comments and shit. So, I mean, no, I don't even think that was a funny comment. Anybody, you know, speaking the truth shouldn't be trolling. And if he's intentionally trolling these people, you know, during the campaign, it was funny with the McDonald's and the garbage man, okay? That was the campaign. Now we're talking, he's in the presidency. He don't need to do that shit no more. He doesn't have another term no matter how much he says. He wants to go to a third term. I'll fight that just as hard as I would fight Joe Biden doing a second term. This is the thing. In a constitutional republic, Trump couldn't run for a third term. But the democracy you guys want to push on everybody, guess what? He can probably swing it till he can do a third term. How about we bring a constitutional republic where we become a land of laws again? Not a land of men, basically a land of who you are. You can get away with stuff. Anyway, I just find it funny that nobody in the government can seem to do what they're going to say. It don't matter what side of the aisle on. You know, I was told by a politician 30 years ago, all they care about the presidency for is they get that, then they get to determine how the money's spent. That's it. He was a congressman. So I never thought of it that way, but, you know, it sure is proven to be that way. I mean, look at, I guess we're still sending money to Ukraine, but all this Department of Government efficiency. Okay, so that means when the Democrats getting back, they're going to have the same thing. It's just they're going to push all their liberals, and then to be like, look at all this conservative garbage this money's being spent on. Back and forth, back and forth. And who's in the middle of it? The American people. And they play us against each other while they sit and laugh as we destroy each other. That's one thing. Elites don't have a problem getting along, no matter what race they are, what nationality, what color, whether they're fat, ugly, good looking, they all get along. But the average world citizen just can't get along because a lot of them don't see the game being played. I do. And when everybody wakes up and sees the common enemy we have, which is the elites and the government playing us against each other, then they'll fear us. Okay? Anyway, but I don't know what it's going to take for people to wake up. Is it actually going to take a nukes to be going off for people to wake the hell up? Are you going to have to lose somebody really close to you because of some politician's policy? And I don't care if it's Democrat or Republican. Both policies from both parties cause people to die. Anybody want to disagree with that? See, the thing is, both parties have been taken over. And the traditional values of the party, and I'm not going to go into the Democratic Party and the way it used to be, okay? But, the Republican Party supposedly started out good, and we've gone rotten too. Both parties have been hijacked by the worst people. I mean, these older people that voted for JFK still think Kamala Harris is JFK. Are you kidding me? It's not what your country can do for you. It's what you can do for your country. Since when does any communist Democrat think that way anymore? Okay, it's not the color of your skin. It's the content of your character. Boy, that went out the window. But they'll tote Martin Luther King all day long. But let's not tell what he really said. Ask some 4-year college black girl, who is Martin Luther King? The first black man to walk on the moon? I would ask for a lot of these parents. You want to solve the student loan debt? A lot of these parents need to be suing the colleges for all the money they spent on putting their kids through school because they never got an education. Okay, I'm just saying. When I graduated high school, I'll just say my 4th grade education when I went to school is equal to a high school diploma now. And my college diploma, or my high school diploma, is definitely equal to a bachelor's degree now. All truth. That's just the way it is. But don't worry, these kids are learning harder and just so much harder on them, even though we were smarter. The thing is, Generation X was the pinnacle of our civilization. We got to enjoy the 70s and the 80s and the first part of the 90s before Bill Clinton stuff all took over. So the pinnacle of our civilization, I got to, through my young kids years, teenage years, and early adult years. It's all changed. Now everything's going downhill for progress, right? I mean, you got the governor of Oregon lowering not qualifications, standards that a minority has to do to graduate school. Because remember, math is a white racist subject. Now, so he's basically saying that minorities aren't as smart as white people. If I would have been a mom of a black kid or a minority, I would have been kicking that fucking principal's ass and say, you kids say my kid's stupid? No, they don't take it that way. Lowering the requirements. Why? No, that's the military does it. Okay? Because when I was in, there's no way a woman could have done special forces. But you lower the standards, then they can. I still don't know how a woman stays out in the field for 4 straight weeks without having hygiene issues. Men don't have such problems. Anyway, I guess I've been blabbering on for 25 minutes. Anyway, I appreciate everybody being here. Obviously, my live stream worked out. So, everybody have a good evening, and I'll see you tomorrow.